Vincent Price, and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill, where so far the ghosts have murdered only 7 people. So won't you come and make it 8? You'll see human heads without bodies. Mysterious pools of blood dripping from the ceiling. The walls move slowly in against you. Don't try to escape, you can't. You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me in the house on Haunted Hill? Hurry, or you'll be late for your own funeral.
Happy Halloween, everyone! Thank you so much for joining me on tonight, the spookiest of all evenings for the Spooky Movie Show's Halloween special. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Charley Macorn, and tonight we're taking a journey into the wild and woolly world of public domain horror films. And I gotta tell you, tonight we have a classic of that genre. It's a narrow genre, of course, and a genre that doesn't violate any copyright laws, so suck it, Spanish Film Board. I know what you're thinking, Charlie, your own Halloween special? Isn't that kind of a great idea? You're right, it is. Thank you so much. I know I've been gone for a while, but the autumn air is full of mystery and monsters, and tonight I'm back and better than ever. Well, I don't know if I'm better than ever. I've got about $60,000 in student loan debt now, and you know what? The government is never going to get that back. If I ever pay off my student loans, something has gone fundamentally wrong with this country, right? 2 things. 1, either I've done my due diligence and sent off my check every month for the next 20 to 30 centuries. That doesn't sound like me at all. And we're doing that without the government realizing that they're putting a stranglehold on a generation of workers, and they need to do something to get their boots of Sally Mae off of our necks. Or 2, the second thing is my very specific education in history and gender and race makes me a millionaire, which I'm counting on because I'm bad at having jobs. But you know what? We're not here to talk about me. It's Halloween, for Christ's sake. So let's go ahead and jump into the film. We have William Castle's classic 1959 film starring the great uncle of terror himself, Vincent Price. So go ahead, crack a beer, pop some corn, or enjoy a jazz cigarette if you live in Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Colorado, Massachusetts, Maine, or are prescribed by your physician. It's the House on Haunted Hill on the spooky movie show. Kristen, roll the film. Oh, and by the way, this is a good old-fashioned Halloween special, so stick around. We got some tricks, treats, and special guests.
I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. Since then, I've owned the house. I've only spent one night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000, or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests. It was my wife's idea to have our guests come in funeral cars. She's so amusing. Her sense of humor is, shall we say, original. I dreamed up the hearse. It's empty now, but after a night in the house on Haunted Hill, who knows? This is Lance Schroeder, a test pilot, so no doubt a brave man. But don't you think you can be much braver if you're paid for it? And I happen to know that Lance needs the $10,000 I'll give him, if he's brave enough to stay all night. This is Ruth Bridges. You've no doubt read her column in the newspapers. She says her reason for coming to the party is to write a feature article on ghosts. She's also desperate for money, gambles. You've already met Watson Pritchard, a man living in mortal fear of a house, and yet he is risking his life to spend another night here. I wonder why. He says for money. This is Dr. David Trent, a psychiatrist. He claims that my ghost will help his work on hysteria. But don't you see a little touch of greed there, around the mouth and eyes? This is Nora Manning. I picked her from the thousands of people who work for me because she needed the $10,000 more than most. Supports her whole family. Isn't she pretty? The party's starting now, and you have until midnight to find the house on Haunted Hill.
Where's everybody?
It isn't a very warm welcome, is it?
Only the ghosts in this house are glad we're here.
Are we all strangers to each other? Don't you two know each other?
I'm afraid I don't even know your name.
I'm Nora Manning.
Lance Schroeder.
Is Frederick Lauren a friend of yours?
I've heard of him, but I've never met him.
I work for one of his companies, but I've never seen him.
I've never met the man either. Just a phone call. Do you know him?
No,
Well, then you're the only one of us who does.
I don't know him. All the details about renting the house were done by mail.
He's quite wealthy, isn't he?
Millions.
And 5 wives, I believe.
4, I think, so far.
A $50,000 party for only 5 people is a little steep, even for a millionaire.
Well, if I were going to haunt anybody, this would certainly be the house I'd do it in.
Who closed the door?
This thing's made of solid steel.
Annabelle, our guests are here, unfortunately still alive. Is your face on yet?
Dust and dirt everywhere, and the water barely trickles. Couldn't you have had the place cleaned?
Atmosphere, darling. You know how ghosts are. They never tidy up. And that's a very fetching outfit, but hardly suitable for a party.
I'm not going to the party.
The spend-the-night ghost party was your idea, remember? Since it's going to cost me $50,000, I want you to have fun.
The party was my idea until you invited all the guests. Why all these strangers? Why none of our friends?
Friends? Do we have any friends?
No, your jealousy took care of that.
I had a reason for inviting each guest. I wanted kind of a cross-section. From psychiatrist to typist, and from drunk to jet pilot. They share one thing. They all need money. Now let's see if they're brave enough to earn it.
And you call this a party?
Could be.
Why do you always do that? It spoils the champagne.
It might explode.
Never does.
Would you guarantee that?
That isn't funny, Frederick.
Make a good headline. Playboy kills wife with champagne cork. Will you join me?
No, thank you.
Just a sip might improve your humor.
My humor is fine, thanks. And I haven't poisoned it.
It's always good to know that. Have some. You'll enjoy the party more. Go on.
Your trust is so touching. And I'm not going to the party.
Of all my wives, you're the least agreeable.
But still alive.
Would you go away for $1 million tax-free? You want it all, don't you?
I deserve it all. Your jealousy isn't tax-free, and your possessiveness is maddening.
If ever a man had grounds for divorce,
But can't prove them.
the time will come. You'll slip up one of these days,
Think so?
if I live long enough. You remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
Something you ate, the doctor said.
Yes, arsenic on the rocks. Annabelle, you'd do it again if you thought you could get away with it, wouldn't you?
Darling, what makes you think that?
Something about you. I hear that hanging is very uncomfortable, in case you get any more ideas. Don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you, darling.
Darling, the only ghoul in the house is you.
And don't sit up all night thinking of ways to get rid of me. It makes wrinkles.
This is what she used on my brother and her sister. Hacked them to pieces. We found parts of the bodies all over the house, in places you wouldn't think. The funny thing is the heads have never been found. Hands and feet and things like that. But no heads.
The wife, probably in a rage, threatened her husband with a knife and then, carried away by hysteria, took a swing at him and simply went on from there.
She certainly went on. How many people did she kill, Mr. Pritchard?
Only two. Her husband and her sister. No one else was here.
So there are two loose heads just floating around in here somewhere?
You can hear them at night. They whisper to each other and then cry.
Since our host isn't here, would anyone care to mix me a drink?
Certainly. What will you have?
Good evening. I'm your host, Frederick Lauren. Since we're all strangers to each other, let's get acquainted with a drink, shall we?
Mr. Lauren, I advise you to call this party off now. The ghosts are already moving, and that's a bad sign.
Let me apologize for my wife. She'll join us later. What do you have?
Scotch and.
Doctor?
I'll have the same.
Now, before the party begins, let's go over the details. The caretakers will leave at midnight, locking us in here until they come back in the morning. Once the door is locked, there's no way out. The windows have bars that a jail would be proud of, and the only door to the outside locks like a vault. There's no electricity, no phone, no one within miles, so no way to call for help.
Like a coffin.
So if any of you decide not to stay for the party, you must let me know before midnight. Of course, if you leave, I shan't be able to pay you anything.
I'm interested in your reasons for this, party. Aside from the pleasant company.
Ghosts, Doctor. I think everyone wonders what they would do if they saw a ghost. And now my wife has given us all the opportunity to find out.
Amusing. Ghosts, etc., being only creations of hysteria, your party should be a success.
Well, Pritchard here promises us genuine ghosts.
7 now. Maybe more before morning.
That's cheerful.
4 men have been murdered in this house. And 3 women.
You planned your party very well, Mr. Lauren. 4 of us are men, 3 are women. Well, a ghost for everybody.
Well, Pritchard, why don't you take us on a tour through the house and let's see what happens, huh?
You know, it looks like things are getting pretty tense over cocktails at the house on Haunted Hill. But the big thing about tonight's film I think we need to address is this supposed to be an adaptation of Shirley Jackson's novel, The Haunting of Hill House, or not? Well, here's the thing. No, it's not. They're completely unrelated. The titles are a weird coincidence. For my entire life, I assumed that this film was made to capitalize on the success of Shirley Jackson's very popular and very creepy novel. But no, 1958, in September, when they were filming this movie, Shirley Jackson was writing her novel at the same time. They came out within months of each other. Now let's talk about the director of tonight's film, William Castle. Now this guy absolutely changed the game for film when it came to directing, for promotion, and for...
Charlie, what's going on?
Hey everyone, it's my roommate, Eliza. She's a vampire.
No, I am clearly Flo from Progressive. What's happening? What's going on with the cameras?
I'm filming my horror show tonight.
Charlie, I told you I needed the living room for my dinner party tonight.
I know, that's why I'm doing it. I'm here to help.
With a film crew.
Absolutely. What better to have for your Halloween party than a live horror host, you silly goose? I'm going to turn your sucktacular into a spooktacular.
I tell you about the puns.
All right, you know what? We're gonna resolve this real quick. So let's go ahead and get back to the film. Kristen, go ahead and roll it.
You are unbelievable.
You'll thank me later, okay?
See that stain? Blood. A young girl was killed here. And whatever got her wasn't human. Don't stand there.
What do you mean? Where?
It's too late. They've marked you.
Ridiculous. The roof probably leaks.
Oh, that must be what it is. Who would want to haunt me?
I would say any self-respecting male ghost.
I hope it doesn't come back.
Well, Mr. Pritchard, you're the life of the party.
He hasn't even started yet. Wasn't there a man who threw his wife into a wine vat or something?
That was in the cellar. There's been a murder almost every place in this house. All this belonged to a Mr. Norton, who didn't die here. He was electrocuted later. Mr. Norton did a good deal of experimenting with wines, but his wife didn't think it was any good. So he filled the vat with acid and threw her in. She was supposed to stay down, but the bones came up. It's a funny thing, but none of the murders here were just ordinary. Just shooting or stabbing. They've all been sort of wild, violent, and different. Look out! God, she didn't fall in.
You mean there's still acid in there?
Destroys everything with hair and flesh. Just leaves the bones. My, it's dry and dusty down here.
Well, there's a cure for that upstairs. Come on.
How'd you get invited to this party? No. No, go on. I mean, what'd he tell you?
Mr. Lawrence said everybody'd get $10,000.
But he didn't say anything about being locked in.
No.
He just made the deal with me on the phone, but nothing about having to stay.
Aren't you going to stay?
If I don't, I lose $10,000.
I'm going to stay, too. $10,000.
Yeah. You believe in ghosts?
I don't know.
Well, I agree with what that doc says. You can spook yourself. I've done it in planes. Seen things that weren't really there. Or were they? What are you going to do with your $10,000? If we get it.
What do you mean, if we get it? Won't he pay us if we stay?
Ah, sure he will. 10,000 is no more to him than a nickel is to us.
We were in an automobile accident. Now I'm the only one in the family who can make any money.
Boy, I've never seen so many doors. Closet. Bottles.
Does it go anywhere? Lance! Lance! Please, come on.
Did she say Lance is gone? Gone where?
We'll have to break it down. It's locked.
Locked?
You all right?
Nothing that money won't cure. I must have bumped my head.
And the only way you could bump your head in here is to run head on into the wall. You didn't do that, did you? Let's get a bandage on that.
I wonder why they didn't kill him.
Who?
He didn't bump his head. They hit him.
They?
Nora, when you came in, you said something about a ghost.
There was something.
What did it look like?
Well, it was wearing a black thing that went all the way to the floor.
Weren't you a little frightened at the time?
Well, yes.
That, Mr. Loren, is hysteria.
Well, then, Doctor, how do you explain what happened to Lance? Was that hysteria, too?
You better get that checked in a day or so.
Thanks, Doc. Wait for me in the hall.
The ghosts are coming closer, Mr. Loren.
You really believe in your pet ghost, don't you, Pritchard?
Before the night's over, you will, too.
Would you like a drink, Lance?
No, thanks.
I'd like one. Scotch and. Mr. Loren, are you really going to pay anyone who stays all night?
Certainly. $10,000.
Will there be much red tape or delay?
In a hurry, dear?
Frankly, yes. Or frantically.
There you are, my dear.
Someone or something was in here when I came in. But where? And if the door was locked, how did it get out? What you saw might have been a ghost, Nora, but what was in here with me was no ghost.
I don't know. I was so scared.
Does that sound different to you?
Yes.
Three, 6, 9, 12. 12 feet. Three, 6. Now, I'm going to knock on the other wall. When you hear me, you knock on this wall. Tap lower down. Where'd it come from?
From in here.
What if it ran out of here? I'd have seen it.
Lance, it doesn't run, it just floats.
Yeah, but why didn't I see it?
You don't believe me.
Well, how can I?
I am really touched that everyone came here tonight. It makes me think about my life and the choices that I made. Not everything that I'm proud of, but I look at the people here and I see you all as the personification of the good choices that I've made. It's been a real year full of challenges with my legal troubles and my diagnosis and my divorce.
Hey, we're back!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What do you think? Nothing like seeing a lady do her best impression of Margaret Hamilton as a wax statue riding an invisible Segway to get you in the Halloween mood, eh?
Charlie, we're trying to have a moment.
Yeah, I was going to sing one of my songs.
Oh, you're a musician?
Yeah.
You know, I dabble myself, actually. What's the expression I hear that you can only call yourself a musician if you've ever played the Grand Ole Opry? Have you played the Grand Ole Opry?
No.
Well, there you go. Did you know the director of tonight's film, William Castle, made a name for himself doing crazy gimmicks for his movies? That's right. William Castle got his start making cheapo films for Columbia, and he even did second unit stuff for Orson Welles and The Lady from Shanghai, but it was his first independent feature, Macabre, where the director made a name for himself. See, what he did was, during screenings of the movie, he would rent out nurses who'd be in the lobby of the theater, so if anyone had some health problems from being too scared, they could come out and see them. He even took out $1,000 life insurance policies from Lloyd's of London, so if anyone would kick off from fright, they could get, I don't know, paid out for insurance. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was a great way to promote his film. It made a bunch of money, enough money to make tonight's feature, The House on Haunted Hill. And this was the first of 2 times he teamed with Vincent Price. Hey, speaking of Vincent Price, welcome to the show, sir. Glad to have you on board. What a career Vincent Price has had, huh? He's worked with everyone from Abbott and Costello to Michael Jackson and John Landis. Now, I could talk more about this film and the rest of this cast that's worth rhapsodizing on, but Halloween is short. So if you want to make your own creature double feature, here are 3 films that pair with this movie like a fine wine and a cheese. Now, the first movie is going to be 1963's The Haunting, the film adaptation of Shirley Jackson's novel The Haunting of Hill House, which we talked about a little bit earlier. It's directed by Robert Wise, who made The Day the Earth Stood Still, West Side Story, The Sound of Music, and Star Trek The Motion Picture. It's longer than tonight's movie, and a little bit better, if we're being honest, a little less campy, but it's a great feature and a great double pairing. The second film would be 1960's 13 Ghosts, also directed by William Castle. I saw this movie when I was a kid. It scared the trombones out of me, I tell you. Now, the gimmick in this movie was it was black and white film, but they filmed all the ghosts in red. And then they give you, when you came to the movie, this viewer with a red lens and a blue lens, kind of like 3D glasses. And if you look through the red lens, it would wash out the red ghost and you'd just see the action without the ghosts. But if you look through the blue one, it would counteract the colors and you'd see the ghost on the screen. It's a great gimmick. I'm not explaining it very well, but check that film out. And I should say 13 Ghosts, The Haunting, and The House on Haunted Hill were all remade within 24 months of each other in the late 90s. They're awful. Skip them. They're terrible. Liam Neeson is in one of them with Owen Wilson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and it's boring and terrible. Don't watch the remakes, originals all the way in this case. Now, the third film, if you enjoy the campy attitude and movies about people having parties in places they shouldn't have parties, Pair tonight's film with 1988's Night of the Demons. It's a bunch of teenagers, including the avatar of 80s horror punk Linnea Quigley, having a party in an abandoned mortuary, and it goes as good as you'd expect a movie in the 80s starring Linnea Quigley. So let's go ahead and get back to tonight's film, and you know what? When we get back, something I've been promising for years, I went in search of a haunted house. I'll have the footage when we get back. Kristen, roll the film.
I'm Annabelle Lauren. You must be Miss Manning. I realize this is a very unusual and I'm afraid very dull party. Wouldn't you like to freshen up? This is your room. Depressing, isn't it?
I doubt if I'll spend much time here.
It's going to rain. Perfect atmosphere for my husband's party. Why did you come here?
He said he'd give me $10,000.
Why did he pick you?
I don't know. My supervisor just came and said I'd been invited.
How long have you known my husband?
I just met him tonight.
So? Why you? What were you doing wandering around by yourself?
Well, I was in the cellar with Lance, Mr. Schroeder, and I just left, that's all.
Don't do it again. Don't go anywhere in this house by yourself. Now fix your face and I'll come by for you in a few minutes.
But
You're in danger. We all are.
But who?
I hope for your sake you never find out. I'm Annabelle Lauren. Were you looking for something?
Not exactly.
Are you the doctor?
No, I'm Lance Schroeder.
The pilot. You've hurt yourself.
Oh, it's just a bump on the head. Which is my room?
I believe this is it.
Thank you, Mrs. Lauren.
Annabelle Lance. You were with the young girl in the cellar. Why was she so upset?
Was she?
And you don't look like the type to go around bumping his head. What really happened, Lance?
Well, Nora thought she saw a ghost, but I didn't see anything.
She was just frightened then.
And mad at me, I think. I kidded her about it.
I wouldn't joke about anything else that happens here tonight.
Now, don't tell me you're taking all this seriously.
Aren't you?
Well, I'd like to find out what hit me.
Lance. If I need help, may I count on you?
Yeah, sure, I guess so. Look, what's going on here anyway? I mean, what is with this party bit?
This is no party. He's planning something.
Your husband?
I wish I knew what it was.
Must be pretty big if he's going to lay out $50,000.
The money doesn't mean anything. He has a reason for getting us all up here to this dreadful old house.
Well, what for? He doesn't even know us.
Maybe that's exactly why you're here.
Well, what can he get away with?
Oh, he thinks that big money like his can get away with anything. You know, of course, that I'm his fourth wife. The first simply disappeared. The other two died. Lance, I don't want to join them.
You mean he,
Oh, his doctor said they died of heart attacks. 2 girls in their 20s.
Well, what can he do?
My husband is sometimes insane with jealousy. Nothing matters to him then. Please be careful.
Would he hurt you?
He would kill me if he could.
Well, you're missing all the fun. Nora Manning was almost killed by a falling chandelier. The pilot bashed his head in.
Is he badly hurt?
The Saturnine psychiatrist bandaged him up. Don't you want to go and console him, as you do most men, in your fashion?
You're so clever, Frederick.
Yes, I lie awake nights wondering why I married you. It was rather a mistake.
You didn't marry me, dear. I married you. Unpleasant, but no mistake.
Hurry up.
Frederick, for the last time, I'm not going to your party.
And for the last time, it's not my party, but yours. And you are going.
I am not.
You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
Would you adore me as much if I were poor? No. All you want to be is a lovely widow. It's almost time to lock up the house. And then your party will really begin. I wonder how it'll end. It's close to midnight, Lance.
Okay. I'll be down in a minute.
Who is it?
Your host, my dear. It's almost midnight, Nora. We're all going to get together down in the living room.
All right, Mr. Lloyd. I'll be right down.
Come with us before he kills you. Where's Nora? Miss Manning.
I don't want to stay here.
Nora, what happened? That's Jonas Slides and his wife. They've been caretakers here for years. She's blind, you know.
I'm not going to stay here.
Well, Doctor, it looks like we have a real case of hysteria on our hands.
I think she's just a little upset, not hysterical.
Good evening.
Hello, my dear. This is my wife. These are our guests. Ruth Bridges, Dr. Trent. You know Watson Pritchard, of course. Nora Manning, and this is Lance Schroeder.
Get me out of here.
Now, what about the 10,000?
I don't care. He wants to kill me.
Who wants to kill you?
Mr. Lawrence.
May I have your attention, please? I think you all remember the bargain we made about staying all night. $10,000 apiece. If any of you don't survive, $50,000 will be divided amongst the rest of you. If I should die, you will be paid by my estate. When the door is locked from the outside by the caretakers, we'll all be forced to stay in this house until morning. If any of you decide not to stay, you must leave with the caretakers now. You won't have a chance to change your minds later, because there'll be no way to get out.
I don't want to stay.
Wait.
It isn't midnight yet. Who told them they could leave?
They never leave before midnight.
Well, they've gone now. I was going to ask you whether you wanted to stay or not, but it seems that the caretakers have made the decision for you. We're all locked in now.
But I don't want to stay.
And I'm sorry, my dear, but it's too late now.
Darling, haven't you had enough of the silly game? Get some cars up here for these people and let them go home. But pay them first.
This is your party, remember? In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the impossible, we will all have to stay in this house until 8 o'clock in the morning. But we have some party favors for you in these little coffins. This is my wife's idea. I must say, I think it's rather dangerous. I suppose you all know how to use one of these things, but in case you don't, you just press down on this lever with your thumb and then pull the trigger. You see, they're loaded.
These are no good against the dead, only the living.
Doctor? Lance? Nora?
Go ahead, take it.
Miss Bridges? And here's yours, dear.
I don't need it.
It was your idea. Who knows, you may want to use it on me before this night is over.
Throw these guns away. They won't do you any good.
I agree with Pritchard on that point, although not for the same reason.
Dr. Trent, don't you approve of our little party favors?
Suppose Nora had had a gun when she mistook the blind woman for a ghost.
I don't think anyone else is going to walk around in total darkness.
Oh, I'm sure we're not going to go running around the house shooting each other, aren't you?
Who knows? Fear makes people do amazing things.
Mr. Pritchard, you said your sister-in-law killed a man and a woman here and cut them up? You said they found hands and feet, but they never found any heads. Would you like to see one of those heads? Would you all like to see one of those heads? Well then, just follow me.
Darling, I really don't need this.
Just go look in my suitcase. Just go look. But it was in there. A woman's head.
Nora, I think you're a little upset. Would you care for a sedative?
Get out! Get out, all of you! All of you, get out of here and leave me alone! Just get out of here!
You think it's all right to leave her by herself, Doctor?
I wish she'd taken the sedative.
Well, what do you suppose she thought she saw?
They're closing in on her.
Look, Doc, I think somebody ought to stay with her.
There could be 1 million people around her. But if they wanted her, they'd get her.
What if he's right?
He's too drunk to know what he's talking about.
I wonder. I'll join you in a minute.
Do you think it would do any good if you went in and talk to her?
Well, do you think there really was a head in her suitcase?
I don't know.
A thing like that would put me right over the edge.
But would you sort of stay up here, I mean, in case she needs help?
All right. I'll be in my room. Just call it.
Thanks.
Are you sure there are only 7 people in this house?
Positive, except for the ghosts.
I don't believe in ghosts, nor in frightening women. In Nora's case, it's gone far enough. Perhaps too far.
What do you suggest we do about it, Doctor?
Don't frighten her anymore.
Nora? 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 What do you know about this?
They've taken her. In a little while, she'll be one of them.
Where's Nora? Where is she?
It's too late. It's too late. You'll never find her again.
Pritchard, if you know where she is, you better tell me now.
She's gone. She's gone with them. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Let her down.
Nora?
She's dead, Mr. Lauren. Your wife hanged herself.
Suicide.
Please, hide me.
What's the matter?
Hide me. He tried to kill me. He grabbed me and choked me and put me in that room. And then he went away and left me.
Who?
He thought I was dead.
Who?
Mr. Lord.
Are you sure about this?
I don't know. It was dark, but it must have been him.
Has anybody seen you since he left you?
I heard some people in that room, but I went by and nobody saw me.
Mrs. Lauren is dead.
How?
Lauren said she committed suicide, but I think somebody killed her.
Him?
I'm sure you've come to the same conclusion I have.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's all have a meeting, discuss what to do. The living room?
Okay, in a minute. I've got to go downstairs. Now, you lock yourself in here and don't let anybody know you're here. If he thinks you're dead, he won't come here. And I'll get back as soon as I can. You'll be all right. And if you have to, you use it. So beautiful. So greedy. So cold. What are you doing in here?
Wait. Don't wait.
What do you mean coming in here?
I didn't want them to take her away.
You're drunk.
They will if you don't watch her.
You're drunk. All right, out with it, Bridget. Why did you come into this room?
I'm the only one who understands.
Understands what?
Your wife isn't there anymore. She's already joined them.
Bridget, I've had enough of your spook talk. Get out, you sot, and don't come back into this room again.
Now that actor, his name is Elijah Cook Jr. He plays Watson Pritchard. He's been in everything. He's been in The Maltese Falcon, Blackula, the 70s version of Salem's Lot. Oh, and Rosemary's Baby.
I thought I recognized him from that.
Oh, sure. Now William Castle, who I can't shut the fuck up about tonight, he had the rights to that book before it was ever published. Thought, I'm going to direct this movie, be a big famous, director, in mainstream Hollywood, not these little cheap movies. But no, the producer said, no, you can't direct it. You can be one of the producers. Let's get Roman Polanski to direct it. Yeah, I know.
Charlie, what's going on?
Eliza, I'm so glad you asked. Last year, I became obsessed with finding proof of life after death.
Charlie?
It's fine. All those hours of searching Alta Vista have finally paid off. Or have they? I must warn you, this is going to be very disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Since time immemorial, humanity has gazed into the darkness and wondered what phantasmagorical things would stare back at it. Even in our modern nights, in our age of logic and YouTube, we're still not sure as that superstition prevails heavily within us. Is there life after death? Do we carry on? Shakespeare himself once said that there's more things on heaven and earth than dreamt of in your philosophy. Ironically, he's dead now. Hello, I'm Charley Macorn, and today I'm delving into the darkness. Along with me, I'm bringing my director, Lenny Peppers, and my intern, Brian. For months, I've searched in vain trying to find some proof of life after death, but there has been none. I even went to the deep parts of the web, primarily Bing. But I found nothing until I received a very strange email, an email that spoke of horrible sounds in the night, and of a ghostly woman with holes in her head reading stories to children at bedtime. They weren't very happy about that. We will enter the darkness as a torch, shining for knowledge, and come out the other side changed. That is, if we don't die. Where the fuck is this place? Oh my god. I cannot, we are so lost. Is this even still technically Missoula?
I have no idea. Do you think maybe we should have done a little more research before we came barreling out here, Charlie?
Look, no, we're on the internet. We don't have time to research things. We have time to get out, film everything around us so if a dog is something cute.
I think we were supposed to take that roundabout back there.
Hey, shut the fuck up, kid.
Do we turn here?
No, I don't think so. Maybe the one after it.
Okay.
You know what I don't understand? Ghost Hunters was on the air for like 14 years, all kinds of spin-offs. They never once found any proof of ghosts on that show. They were in the most haunted places in the world. They didn't find anything. Because we would have heard, right? Like at some point, Anderson Cooper would have had to come on the news and say, hey, ghosts exist. The show that was on right after wrestling proved it.
Seems to make some sense.
A little bit. All right, Mormon Creek Road. Let's take a right at that. Okay, 12982. That's 70, so that's not it. So I guess it's a little bit further down. Got for this kid on the bicycle. You see any ghosts, kid? Maybe it's this pink one here. 12982.
12982.
There we go. This place looks so fucking haunted. Oh yeah, this is gonna nail it.
I hate you so much right now, Charlie.
Okay, so here's the fun part. Brian, keep up. Oh man, look at this place. It is so fucking haunted. Oh, I am so glad we're doing this. We're gonna be so internet famous.
Are you sure that this is the right place?
A house like this has to be the house we're going to. What else could it be? Oh, I think I see a bat.
Oh my god, Charlie.
No, never mind.
Oh my god, Charlie.
No, it's just a bird. No, it's a bat. Hi, hello.
Hi. Can I help you?
Yeah, you were expecting us. I'm Charlie. This is my friend Lenny.
Hey.
I'm expecting you?
Yeah, we emailed earlier.
Oh, you guys from the internet?
Yes, the internet, yeah. We emailed back and forth, setting this whole thing up.
Huh. Did I put my address on there?
Oh, you sure did.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And there's two of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought a camera.
Oh, yeah, we're going to film the whole thing.
Awesome. Come on in, guys.
Oh, wait. How about we get a shot of Charlie? A reverse shot of Charlie in the doorway.
That's a great idea. Don't be afraid. I'm here now. Let's try that again a bit. Let's just play around with it a little bit. Let's do.
You want me to?
Don't be afraid. This is what I do for a living. Kind of. There's an unclean energy here. I like that. Let's try that one again. Greetings! My name is Charley Macorn. I've come to exorcise your demons. Seems like I was making a pun there, wasn't it? Avon calling. Just kidding, I'm here to find a ghost. Boo! Just kidding, real person. Let's find those ghosts. Ghostbusting! I'm not afraid of any ghosts. Are you ready to get spooky? I overthought this. Oh my god. What am I doing with my life? Jesus Christ. What am I doing? Oh my god. Not now, Brian. Take 10, everyone. Over here, Kubrick. Come on, Brian, you're not going to get your credit if you're... Jesus Christ, University of Montana. So, what a lovely home you have. Thank you for inviting us into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about sort of the action that happens here, kind of the... What do you got, like moaning, groaning?
Oh, yeah. Mostly groaning, but some moaning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bad.
Nice. What about the kitchen here? Anything happening out here?
Not usually, but I mean, maybe later.
Cool. Do you get any action in the bedroom? Whoa! Did you hear that? Action in the bedroom. Phrasing. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. But, I mean, so anything happening in the bedroom?
I mean, it usually happens in there. Actually, I'm going to slip into something a little more comfortable. Can I get you guys a drink?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Beer's in the fridge.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude!
So.
Nice!
Charlie?
Yeah?
I don't think this is the right place.
What are you talking about? Look at all this free beer. Intern, put these in your pockets or I'll fail you. There's so much free beer here. There.
Charlie, I don't
What?
feel right about this.
Why not? He was expecting us, Lenny.
Was he?
You know, to be fair, everything that we've said today has been very vague. I've noticed that. But I mean, what else could it be? Okay. Look, when you agreed to revitalize my very popular and critically acclaimed horror host show, we knew we had to do something extra. We had to find an actual ghost. Listen, we can either do it or fake like those assholes on the Sci-Fi Channel, but we're going to do it. We both believe in something, Lenny. We both believe in me and my greatness. I mean, come on. What's the worst that can happen?
Okay.
All right, ladies. Want to find out why they call me the Manimal?
Charlie, God. So how old are you?
Maybe just a concept.
It's real fucked up you made us watch that, Charlie.
I'm such a good filmmaker. You know what? Let's get back to the house on Haunted Hill. Hope Lenny's okay.
Where's what's-her-name? Nora.
I didn't disturb her since I don't think this concerns her.
No, you're right.
Mr. Loren, isn't there some way we can get out of this house now?
No, none at all.
We could try breaking out.
The only door to the outside is made of steel. The bars of the windows are set in solid stone. We gotta stay.
I'm not afraid of your ghosts, Pritchard. But I am afraid. When we came here a few hours ago, the only thing we had in common was the $10,000 we'd get. Now, however, we share something else. The death of Mrs. Loren. So far tonight, one of us was almost killed by a falling chandelier. One of us was mysteriously slugged. One of us has been driven to the brink of absolute hysteria. And one of us is dead. Were these accidents? Suicide? And we must stay here for 6 more hours.
6 hours? 6 of us. Time enough.
Who will be next? How will it happen?
Let me ask you a question, Doctor. You were the first one to see my wife there. Did you also see anything that she could have climbed up on and then jumped?
No.
Did any of you? There was nothing. How then did she get up there so high?
Exactly, Mr. Loren. How? She couldn't have pulled herself up there. She couldn't have dropped from the ceiling. Do you think your wife killed herself?
No. She was murdered by one of you.
Or you, Mr. Loren. To deliberately kill someone, you must have a reason.
We were all strangers to your wife. only you had a motive for murder.
What husband hasn't at some time wanted to kill his wife? What husband hasn't had 1,000 opportunities to do it in such a way so that he'd never be suspected? I'm not such a fool as to hang my wife from a ceiling by a rope.
The fact remains that you, or one of us, murdered Mrs. Lauren. And that's a matter for the police.
So how do we get the police?
That's my point. We can't until morning. What began as a silly party given by an eccentric has now involved us all in murder.
For once, Pritchard may be right. If another murder's in the works, let's stop it now.
Another murder?
Why not? Maybe one of us saw too much.
Why should even a millionaire want to give each of us $10,000 to spend one night in a gloomy old house? To see some ghosts, have a party? No.
Have you finished trying me, Doctor? And is the verdict guilty of murder?
Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere. Somebody killed Mrs. Lauren. We know that. One of us is guilty and the rest of us are innocent. Okay. Now, what we have to do for the next 6 hours is protect ourselves from each other.
You really think?
I don't think anything. I just know that I'm going to my room. And if anybody comes in, I'll shoot him. Or her.
And if we all stay in our rooms, we'll be safe. Because the innocent will have no reason to leave his room. And the guilty will admit his guilt if he or she does.
And we all have guns.
And we're all agreed?
Oh, I wish this night were over.
Rooms? Guns? I tell you, it doesn't make any difference. They aren't through with us yet. What's the use of saying goodnight?
Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
okay? They've all gone to their rooms and locked themselves in.
Lance, I've been thinking. It was so dark down there. Maybe it wasn't Mr. Lorne.
It was him, all right. He tried to kill you, and he did kill his wife.
How can you be so sure?
She tried to warn me, ask me to help her. The doc thinks he's going to try and kill one of us. Now, there must be a way out of this place, and I'm going to find it and get the police before he does.
I'm going with you.
What if he finds out you're alive? No, Nora. You're safer here than any place else. Now just lock yourself in and keep quiet. If I find a way out, I'll come back and get you.
Hey, welcome back. Now, we're ramping up to the grand finale of The House on Haunted Hill, but before we do, let me spoil it for you. Now, all night I've been telling you about the weird gimmicks that William Castle would do to make his movies more memorable. So for tonight's film, in the grand finale, this skeleton comes up out of this pit of acid and walks around. In the theaters, what Castle would do was he would attach a skeleton to a string and like swing it on a pulley through the theater. It's crazy, especially when you see like these long takes of a skeleton in this movie. So to replicate that in your own home, I'm going to show you at home and you here how to make your own skeletons out of household objects to recreate that neat gimmick in the movie. All you're going to need are Q-tips or cotton swabs so I don't get sued. Please get white ones because my intern's an idiot and got blue ones. Get some glue. I use outdoor adhesive for all of my adhesive needs and some construction paper. And I have these federal and Wyoming state law minimum wage posters. Thank you, Brian. Now, the final product should look something like this. So when the skeleton comes out, start moving it in and out. Ooh. Let's go ahead and get back to the film. Get your skeletons ready. We'll be right back.
An admission of guilt, Doctor?
Certainly not. There's either somebody else in this house or one of us has left his room. Did you hear anything?
Organ music?
That, and someone walking.
You got yours? Ready?
You look downstairs, and I'll look up here.
Why not together?
There may be only minutes, seconds left of someone's life. Why waste time? It's almost over, darling. Every detail was perfect.
What's happening?
We've done it. A perfect crime. Beautiful.
Has she killed him?
Not yet. But she will.
Get me out of this hanging harness. What's taking that girl so long? What time is it?
At first, I couldn't get Nora to want to protect herself with a gun. But after you appeared at the window, everything began to work just as we had planned. You were wonderful. Just the touch that finally drove her into complete hysteria.
It'll be worth all of our planning, darling. Where's Nora now? What's happening?
On her way to the cellar. So scared she'll shoot the first thing that moves.
And Frederick?
On his way to the cellar, too.
David, are you sure none of them will suspect us?
Of what? An hysterical girl accidentally shoots somebody? Who would suspect that we planned it that way, that we drove her to it?
What about my suicide?
But just a ghost party gag. We'll claim it was a dummy since I'm the only one who touched you.
And the caretakers?
Well, they had no idea what they were really doing.
What about Nora? She's not stupid, you know.
Darling, believe me, everything we planned is working perfectly. Nora is sure Frederick murdered you. She thinks Frederick attacked her in the cellar, not me. And now Nora's almost out of her mind with fear. The heads, the music, you're hanging. I tell you, when Frederick walks in there, she'll shoot him.
It's taking too long. David, you ought to be there.
When you hear the shot, come down to the cellar.
David? David?
last you've got it all. Everything I have. Even my life. But you're not going to live to enjoy it. Come with me, murderess. Come with me. Indeed perfect. Only the victim is alive and the murderers are not. It's a pity you didn't know when you started your game of murder that I was playing too.
There must be some way to get in here.
Oh, it's right along here, somewhat.
Lance! I've shot Mr. Loren. He's down in the wine cellar.
Alive?
I don't think so. It's him. He's alive.
You didn't shoot anyone, my dear. I loaded your gun with blanks. I can tell you all now. Trent and my wife were planning to kill me. They failed. Trent tried to throw me in the vat. My wife stumbled and fell. I'm ready for justice to decide if I'm innocent or guilty.
Now they're 9. There'll be more, many more. They're coming for me now. And then they'll come for you.
Now, I promised you a few extra Halloween treats, and what's an old-fashioned Halloween special without a few celebrity guests popping by and have a few drinks and share a few laughs with your old host, Charley Macorn. As you all know, my favorite TV show is the 1959's moralistic detective show, M Squad, starring Lee Marvin. And I found out that you can actually have M Squad come to your party for a nominal fee. So, who's that I hear at the door? Well, I think it might be a special surprise for everyone here. Come on in, Lee.
Hey, it's M Squad.
Hang on. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Is this it?
This is it. M Squad. With an M. The cast of M Squad.
No, you're not. Are you Lee Marvin under that mask?
No, it's me, Kyle McAfee, the guy who plays Flying Man on the web series M Squad, available at facebook.com/msquadactivate.
Okay, first of all, don't plug anything on my show, you piece of shit. Number two, I thought this was going to be the Lee Marvin crew from the 50s. No.
Like the Rat Pack?
No, M Squad, the very famous TV show M Squad ran for 3 years.
We're the famous web series M Squad.
Yeah.
Web series. That might be...
What the fuck's a web series?
God, what is a web series? It's basically people that can't get other kind of gainful employment in the entertainment industry, and they make a series and have no means of distribution, so you put it up on YouTube, which we did.
Exactly right.
So what's your deal? Nick Cage and Snake Eyes, right?
My name is Ian St. Ange. I play Johnny Laser on M Squad.
Okay. What about here? Mr. Drums.
Jordan Demander. I play the Brain, possibly everyone's favorite character from the show M Squad.
Yeah, I can see that. You're definitely the most handsome. And guy who has the job. What's your deal?
I just trade stocks, M Squad stocks, in China.
Okay. Everyone, just keep drinking for a second. So you're not from the old. Okay. That's fine. Thank you for being here. How about we just get the best of the $10,000 I spent on you guys, and you like mingle with my guests and have some drinks, but only domestic beer, okay?
Okay.
All right, that worked great.
So in the spirit of the holidays, we're going to sing you one of our very favorite Halloween carols.
Bum 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 bum. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. The thrill of hope, a weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees and hear the angel voices. O night divine, O night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, night, oh, night divine.
Fantastic, fantastic. You guys make Lee Marvin look like a piece of shit. Thank you. M Squad, it's facebook.com/msquadactivate. Very funny show, we're kidding. These guys are family to me. So I should say now, from all of us to all of you, Happy Halloween! You know, we've had a lot of fun here tonight, watching a spooky movie on the spooky movie shows, Halloween special. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. Halloween's my favorite holiday for one key reason. You don't have to be with your family. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, you're with your family, but Halloween, you get to just be yourself and around people that you choose as your family. So thank you so much for joining me here this evening.
Charlie, I would like to apologize for my actions earlier. It really was just a complete accident. I went the whole day without eating. Didn't mean to. I hope you can look past it and we can get on with the night.
I thank you. I should apologize to Eliza. I know that your parties are very important to you, and I know that your friend who was dressed as a zombie is dying or whatever. I should be more mindful of that. Friends? Friends.
Thank you for saying as much.
So that brings us to the end of another spooky movie on the spooky movie show. I've been your hostess, Charley Macorn. Remember, if you're going to scream, scream with me. I'll see you next time. Good night. Did you kill a kid or something?
Yeah, twins.
Nice.
I'm not afraid of any ghosts. Ghosts.